Take a slow breath and notice how your body feels when you think about prosperity. Not the word as an idea, but the feeling of it. Does your chest soften or tighten? Does your belly relax or brace? Just noticing is already an awakening because your body tells the truth before your mind can argue. Now, gently, let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, and whisper inside as if you're speaking to someone you love. I am safe to receive. I am safe to receive. Even if part of you doesn't believe it yet, you can still let the words touch you. You don't have to force anything. You're simply making space. Prosperity and flow are not prizes for perfect people. They're natural states, like warmth returning to your hands when you step inside from the cold. You don't earn the warmth, you allow it, you remember it. And the remembering begins right now with your breath. Imagine a river. It doesn't strain to be a river. It moves because moving is its nature. And when something blocks it, the river doesn't shame itself. It gathers, swirls, finds a new path, and continues. That is flow. Not a life with no obstacles, but a life where you stop turning obstacles into a verdict about you. So place one hand over your heart, if you can, and say softly, life is allowed to support me. I am allowed to be supported. I am allowed to feel good while I grow. Let those sentences land like gentle rain on dry soil. The soil doesn't debate, it drinks. If you've been pushing for a long time, you might feel a quiet resistance. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you've been strong. You learned to survive in a world that sometimes made love feel conditional. Maybe you had to be useful. Maybe you had to be easy. Maybe you had to be impressive. And your system began to believe that tension equals safety. But listen closely. You are not here to push life into giving you what you need. You are here to align with the part of you that already knows you are worthy of good. Not someday. Now. Prosperity, in the deepest sense, is the felt sense that there is enough. Enough breath. Enough support for the next step. Enough inner resource to meet the day. And yes, prosperity can show up as opportunities, connections, ideas, and material ease. But it begins as a frequency inside you, a home feeling that says, I belong here, I am held. Think of a lamp. When it's plugged in, it doesn't chase electricity around the house. It simply connects, and then it shines. When you feel disconnected, you don't need to punish yourself. You come back, you reconnect. And the way you reconnect is not through frantic thinking, but through gentle presence. So right now, inhale slowly through your nose. Exhale as if you're fogging up a mirror. Let the exhale be a little longer than the inhale. Do that again. And as you breathe, imagine your system hearing a message it has needed. We can soften now. We can stop bracing. If you're listening late at night, You may be tired of carrying your life in your mind. The lists, the worries, the quiet fear that ease is for other people. If that's you, you're not alone. Many sensitive, capable people learn to measure their worth by effort, and then, even when something good arrives, they can't fully take it in. They receive, but they apologize. They rest, but they feel guilty. Flow doesn't grow well in guilt. Flow grows well in permission. So here is your permission. You are allowed to receive without explaining. You are allowed to be supported without proving. You are allowed to relax and still be responsible. This isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing without self-attack. And yes, your circumstances matter. This isn't denial. It's a deeper choice. To stop letting circumstances define your identity. To stop saying, because this is happening, I must be unworthy. Instead, because this is happening, I can meet myself with kindness and take the next step. Let me offer you a simple picture. Imagine you're holding a tight fist full of sand. The tighter you grip, the more it slips through your fingers. When you soften your hand, the sand can rest there. Receiving is like that. The more you squeeze, the more you lose. The more you trust, the more can stay. Perhaps you've experienced this. You get a small break, an unexpected discount, a helpful message, a new inquiry, a compliment, and your mind immediately says, it won't last. Or you look for the catch. Or you rush to deserve it by overgiving. That's not because you're negative. It's because a part of you learned to rehearse disappointment to avoid heartbreak. But what if you stopped rehearsing loss? What if you began rehearsing support? Here's a practice you can use in less than a minute. First, notice one place in your body that feels tight. Throat, stomach, forehead, anywhere. Put your attention there like a kind friend. Then breathe into that place. And on the exhale, imagine you're loosening a knot. And say, I release the need to struggle. I release the need to prove. I choose to be available for ease. Then choose one small thing you can receive. 5 today, something tiny, a glass of water, a warm shower, 10 minutes of quiet. Let that small receiving be your training ground. Flow often returns through the small doors first. You may have been taught that wanting is the engine of manifestation, but wanting without worthiness becomes hunger. It becomes chasing. The shift is not in wanting more, but in becoming more available. Available to ideas, to help, to timing, to your own inner guidance. Now, your natural state is not frantic. Your natural state is not scarcity. Your natural state is a quiet yes to life. So let's meet the part of you that forgot that. Imagine the younger version of you, just for a moment, who tried so hard to be good, to be loved, to be safe. You don't need a perfect picture, just the feeling. And say to them, you don't have to do it alone anymore. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. We can let life help us. Feel what happens when you say that. Maybe a softening, maybe tears, maybe nothing at first. All of it is okay. Flow doesn't mean you never plan or take action. Flow is action without desperation. It's the difference between pushing a stuck door with your whole body and noticing there's a key in your hand. So here's how you find the key. Ask inside, what is the next kind step? Not the biggest step. The next kind one. Then wait. You might hear a word. Rest, call, write, apply, say no, say yes, clean one corner, send one message. You're not controlling the whole future. You're cooperating with the next step. That is how rivers move. And let's make this practical with real life moments. Imagine you open your phone and see an unexpected bill. Your stomach drops. Old you might spiral. Here we go again. The awakened you pauses. Breath first, hand to body. And then, I can meet this with steadiness. I can find the next step. This moment does not define my future. From that steadier place, you can see options more clearly, making a call, adjusting a plan, asking a question, receiving support. Or imagine you have an idea you've been holding back, sharing your work, applying for something, creating a project, and the old fear rises. Who am I to do that? Flow sounds like this. I don't have to be fearless. I just have to be willing. I can take one small step and let the path reveal itself. And you take that step, not to prove anything, but to honor your own growth. Or imagine someone offers you help, and your first impulse is to refuse. Oh, it's fine. I don't want to bother you. If you've been the caretaker, that reflex makes sense. But receiving is a spiritual practice too. So you pause, smile, and simply say, thank you. No apology, no explanation. You let goodness land. You let it stay. And here's what's interesting. Your outer life often follows the agreements you're holding inside, not as punishment, but as reflection. If somewhere deep down you've agreed, I must work twice as hard for half as much, your mind will keep looking for evidence of that story. You'll miss openings. You'll overextend. You'll say yes when your soul says no, and then you'll feel proved right. So we change the agreement gently, the way you would turn a dial, not flip a switch. One way to do this is to notice the moment you start to grip. Maybe it happens when you're waiting for a reply. Maybe it happens when you're looking at numbers. Maybe it happens when you see someone else succeed. In that moment, instead of racing forward in your mind, you come back to your senses. Feel your feet. Notice the temperature of the air. Listen for the farthest sound you can hear. Let your shoulders soften. And say, I don't have to rush to be okay. I can be here now. Flow begins in the present, not in the imagined future. Receiving can feel unfamiliar. Some people can give beautifully, but receiving feels like standing in bright light without sunglasses. If that's you, be gentle with yourself. You can build your receiving muscles, little by little. Try this for the next few days. When something good arrives, even something small, pause for 2 full breaths before moving on. Let the compliment sink in. Let the kindness register. let the solution land. Those 2 breaths are teaching your system good can stay, support can stay, I can hold it. And if your mind tries to swat the goodness away, it's nothing. I don't deserve it. It won't last. You can answer with compassion. Thank you, mind, for trying to protect me, and I'm choosing to receive it anyway. Sometimes the biggest block to prosperity isn't a lack of effort. It's the fear of what would change if things got easier. Would you have to be seen more? Would you have to outgrow certain roles? These are tender fears. You don't bulldoze them. You love them safely. So if you feel that fear, place a hand on your heart and say, it is safe for me to grow. It is safe for me to be seen. It is safe for me to have more ease and still be myself. And let's talk about comparison, because it can quietly poison the flow. You scroll, you look around, and it seems like everyone else is ahead. But you never see the whole story. The moment you notice comparison, come back to one truth. My path has its own timing. My gifts have their own way of unfolding. I don't have to race. I can stay with what's true for me. Now, another everyday scenario. You're offered something aligned, but it also feels new. Maybe a role, a collaboration, a chance to share your voice, and you feel both excitement and nausea. Flow doesn't demand that you eliminate the fear. Flow asks you to hold the fear with love and move with your values. So you might say, I can be scared and still be guided. I can be new and still be capable. I can learn as I go. And then you take one grounded step. Ask a question. Gather information. Set a boundary. Say yes in a way that honors you. And if today is one of those days where you feel heavy or discouraged, you don't have to pretend you're glowing. Alignment isn't pretending. Alignment is treating yourself with respect in whatever state you're in. So you can say, today I'm tender. Today I need softness. And even today, life can support me in small ways. Even today, I can take one kind step. That is enough. That is flow. And one more gentle support. Give your joy a little room. Joy isn't a distraction from spirituality. It's often a signal that you're aligned. If you notice a small spark, music, sunlight on your skin, a good stretch, let yourself enjoy it for a few seconds longer than usual. That lingering is not indulgence. It's you telling your system, this life is safe to feel, and I am safe to receive. Awakening to prosperity can feel subtle at first. More space in your chest, less urgency, a quieter mind. You may notice you're less attracted to forcing. You may notice you're drawn to alignment, choices that feel truthful, not just impressive. You might also notice old patterns getting louder right before they soften. That's normal. When you change your inner frequency, the outdated parts protest. You don't have to wrestle them. You simply return. And returning can be as simple as this. I am worthy. I am supported. I am guided. I am learning. I am open. Now let's touch the foundation again. worthiness. Worthiness is not something you build by achieving. Worthiness is what you remember when you stop arguing with your own existence. You were born worthy. You don't have to prove your right to be here. If your mind offers a list of reasons you shouldn't have ease, mistakes you've made, times you fell short, meet that list with compassion. Those moments are not proof you're undeserving. They are proof you are human. Humans learn, humans grow. Your past is not a prison. Imagine you've been carrying an old suitcase filled with heavy rocks labeled "not enough," "too late," "it's selfish," "it's dangerous," "it won't work." You don't have to throw it away dramatically. You can open it gently, pick up one rock, and set it down. Choose one belief that feels heavy. Maybe it's, "I always struggle." Maybe it's, "Opportunities don't come to me." Maybe it's, "If I relax, everything falls apart." Now breathe out and say, "That was an old story. I'm allowed to write a new one. I'm allowed to write a new one." New stories can be simple. Try one of these and see how it feels in your body. Life is cooperating with me in ways I can't always see. I notice support when it arrives. I am learning to receive with ease. I trust myself to handle what comes. And here's something important. Prosperity has a rhythm. It's not constant sprinting. It's seasons. Sometimes you plant, sometimes you water, sometimes you wait, sometimes you harvest. If you judge yourself for being in a season of waiting, you create resistance. If you honor the season, you create peace. And peace is a powerful place for clear guidance to arrive. Sometimes the next kind step is rest. Rest is not laziness. Rest is where your intuition gets a chance to speak. Sometimes the next kind step is clearing, finishing one small, incomplete task that's been draining you, not as punishment, but as preparation. Like sweeping your porch so fresh air can come in. Sometimes the next kind step is boundaries. Flow is not saying yes to everything. Flow is honoring your energy. If you keep leaking attention to what doesn't respect you, it's harder to feel prosperous. So you practice saying no without guilt. You practice choosing what nourishes you. Let's speak a few affirmations together, slowly, like stepping stones across a stir. I am willing to live in a new way. I release the belief that struggle is necessary. I welcome support in expected and unexpected forms. I am open to receiving with ease. I honor my needs without shame. If any of these feel too big, soften them. I'm open to the possibility. I'm learning. That is enough. Now bring this into your evening. Before sleep, you can do a small ritual that trains your mind to notice abundance. Take 3 slow breaths. Then name 3 forms of support you received today. Tiny counts. A safe trip, a warm meal, a moment of calm. This is not pretending. This is remembering. And what you repeatedly notice, you begin to experience more deeply. Then set one gentle intention for tomorrow. I move with ease. I notice guidance. I take the next kind step and let it go. Plant it like a seed and trust the soil. And if worry wakes you in the night, return to one sentence. In this moment, I am safe. At this moment, I am safe. Let your body believe you before your mind needs proof. Because awakening is not a one-time event. It's returning again and again, like coming home after a long day and finally taking your shoes off. And when old fear shows up, you don't have to call it failure. You can treat it like a child tugging your sleeve. You can kneel down inside and say, I hear you, and we are okay. That is power. That is love. So let me leave you with a final image. Imagine you've been walking through life with your hands clenched, trying to carry everything alone. Now imagine, slowly, opening your hands, not because you're giving up, but because you're making space. Space for help, space for ideas, space for timing, space for grace. Prosperity and flow are not far away, waiting for you to become someone else. They are your natural state, waiting for you to remember who you are. And you are worthy. You are worthy of ease. You are worthy of support. You are worthy of a life that feels like it's moving with you, not against you. Take one more breath. Feel the softness in your chest. Feel the steadiness in your spine. And let this be true, even if only for a moment. I am open. I am guided. I am supported. I am allowed to thrive in the way that is right for me.